There we go. Hello everyone and welcome along to GRS F2. It's the second round in Season 7 for our Formula 2 drivers. We are live at Imola. 16 drivers making it in, and I think we had one or two joining mid-qualifying session. So a nice and healthy full grid for Imola here today. Looking forward to it. Telemetry, lap data, and the full map, please, as it looks dry to start out with. Although it's pretty cloudy, it could always rain in Imola. We know how it is. So we'll have to see, especially the race could also be rainy, but I think everyone applied their setups pretty quickly and got out fast, so we might be looking for a dry race today. But Harry Spanswick leading the field, going to be setting the first flying lap of the day, and he's really pushing on his outlap. So, pretty confident in his tire temperatures and pressures, I would assume. He's got Chris Free right behind him. Winner on track last week. I think there might have been a penalty. I didn't pay too much attention to it. So, still a favorite to win today for sure. As Harry Spanswicker rounds the final corner, and he's going to start us off with the first flying lap of the day. DRS is open as he charges down the pit straight to turn 1. Oh, turn 1 is technically that little kink on the pit straight, says my track map. I didn't know that. Well, turn 2, very anti-Tamburello he goes through. Plenty of minimum speed to be carried through as avoiding the curbs as much as possible, as they do unsettle and slow down the car quite a bit. Seems to be pretty confident through Villeneuve. And then turn 7, Tosa, nice late apex for the short run up through 8 and 9 that we're heading through now. Piratella, one of my favorite tracks on the F1 calendar. Honestly, just so much fun to go through. Nice fast left-hander. Goes back down the hill, flat right through Acqua Minerale before slamming on the brakes before the run back up the hill towards Variante Alta, which really breaks up the flow of the racetrack. But seems to be heading through the chicane quite nicely, does Harry Spanswick. Now back down the hill through 16, 17, and 18, the Ravazza corners. Quite a undulating, hilly track around Imola. Makes it very fun. But he rounds off his lap, and the first flying lap of the day is a 1:15.7. Like I said, we have Crimbo right behind here, 1:14.9. So maybe Harry Spanswick not putting up the fastest lap time we will see today. Snape's right behind with a 15.8. And the Aston Martin of Vincent Ryman's about to be heading on a lap. Zadrazil's right behind in the Alpha Tauri. We'll pick him up as he rounds Ravazza 2. What will it be for Zadrazil? A 15.9, so a pretty good spread of times so far. The Williams of Bog about to be crossing the line of 15.5. Puts him up into P2, and then Dordovic is going to be the next Ferrari, going to be starting his lap, it looks like. A Mercedes right behind, who just set a time. Oh, it was Dordovic. He's going on another lap real quick. Who was I picking up before? I think, oh, Nider's about to be finishing up his lap. We'll swap to him real quick. Nider puts up the second fastest time of the day, a 1:15 flat. So the two Red Bulls running pretty even. Stevens, Lyons right behind, just a 10th off of Nider, and a couple tenths off of Chris Free. So looking pretty good there. See Snape's on his way back into the pit lane. Hop on board with Dordovic real quick as he heads through Piratella down to 5th gear, early on the throttle, carrying some minimum speed through. Then flat through the kink into Acqua Minerale, just bringing the car speed down as Vincent Ryman puts up a 14.7, so a good 2/10 faster than Chris Free. Very confident over the right-hand curb there is Dordovic. Of course, ex-F1 driver, probably knows his lines pretty well, heading through the Ravazzas now. Looks fairly hooked up through there. And what will it be for good old Marco? Puts puts it up into P4 a 15-1. So still a bit of a rift between P5 and P6 right there. 4/10 the difference between Lions and Bog. As who do we have out on track? It's Bradshaw. We'll pick him up real quick. Through Aqua Minerale we go. And plenty of curb taken on the exit there, but doing well not to invalidate his lap. As we head over both curbs. Look at that. I've never been able to take both curbs like that. If F2 is able to do that so easily, I'm not looking forward to the F1 race tomorrow. I really tend to go around them. But anyway, oh, that's an invalidation, definitely. Through a Ravazza 1, just a little too wide on the exit curb between the two corners. And is Chris Free going to be... Oh, he's used his battery. Is he going on another lap? What's he up to? The Williams behind him is waiting for whatever he's up to, and slides the rears for his trouble, just cooled down the surfaces a little bit, and I think he's going to charge along. So Chris Free going very early in his first two runs. Through Tamburello we go. Looks decently hooked up there, doesn't it? Always got to see it through Villeneuve. Nicely done. Already almost 2/10 up on his previous best. Would put him on par with Ryman, but a little sloppy through Tosa. Might take away about a 1/2 tenth, if I had to guess. We're not really on the apex through Piratella either. I have to see what's it like through Aqua Minerale down to third. Had a little bit of a snap, but I think that looks pretty nicely done. How about Variante Alto? What are we looking for here? Only taking the edge of the first curb there, so not completely eating it like we saw Dordovic do earlier. And now down through the two Ravazza corners. A little late on the throttle. That's a bit of a sloppy lap, but usually when I say that, they put in a good time, and Chris Free's back into the pit lane, so I was right for once. Imagine that. Snape is on a flying lap, and it looks like he has a lot of people on outlaps in front of him. Although they might be getting on with it. There's a AlphaTauri stopped at Piratella. He didn't have anyone around him, and now he's waiting for everyone to go, and he's going to wait for that Aston Martin as well. Oh, I actually get a pretty nice shot of all the cars coming through Piratella, so I appreciate that, Zadrazil. And now Snape... Oh, Snape is going to be coming up to a lot of traffic now. Yeah, everyone is on outlaps, so they need to be diving out of the way, and that McLaren has no idea which side of the track he wants to go to. It's a bit difficult. But Snape is 1/2 second, just about up on his previous best, even through all that. So he might be able to put in a pretty good time yet. Currently P9 in the Ferrari. Had a great showing last week before half spinning it out of turn 1 in Austria. Tyler Witz flew under the radar and flew up into provisional pole to 14.4. With 3/10 faster than Ryman. And what is Snape looking at after this run? P5 with a 15 flat. Where is the other Alpine Lions in the pit lane? How about Bog? Not entirely certain who is on fast laps and who's on out laps right now, crossing the start-finish line. Can we... we'll go to Ryman real quick. Currently P2 and looking to improve. Just about matching his previous best through Sector 1, and seem to have a very nice line and plenty of traction out of Tosa. Through Piratella we go, just clipping that inside curve. Looks like he might have taken a little too much. He had to correct the steering towards the outside a little bit. But not much time loss, I wouldn't think. Looks like a very stable Aston Martin. No, he is a 10th down on his previous best, so he might... Oh, he's going to be losing a lot of time with that. It's not a very quick run through Variante Alta. I don't think that's going to be an improvement, unfortunately. Anthony Bog did put it up into P3. 14.7 for him, and the times are starting to fall. How about Nider? He was looking pretty quick earlier on. We'll hop on board with him. Oh, Caleb White. I was looking. Something changed in the timing tower. Caleb White up into P7. Just ahead of Nider, who we are on board with now. So if Nider improves by even 1/10 of a second, he will be able to take P8, Adam Bradshaw into P2 with a 14.5, and that is invalid. That's not invalid through Piratella, but it's going to be slow for Niter. It can't be that quick. And he's looking a little sloppy through Aqua Minerale as well. Nice stream of cars going past the start-finish line. Keep our eye out for anything interesting. Really eating the second curb there is Niter. There's probably like 3 or 4 different lines through Variante Alto we've seen so far today already. As that is, was that Andreas Raymond going up into P2? Yes, taking it from Bradshaw of the 14.4. And Jan Niter crosses the finish line 4/10 down on his previous best. Let's see here. We have a Mercedes of John Jackmack going to be the next one across the line. It looks like it's getting a little brighter. The clouds are starting to part, so no rain if I had to predict in qualifying. 4/10 up on his previous best. That's looking pretty good for John Jackmack. That's such a fun name to say. But through Ravazza 1 we go, down to 4th. Nicely on the power through Ravazza 2, just throwing it in. And FA improves to P11, 8/10 faster than his previous best, and now we're going to have a lot of people crossing the line real quick. It is going to be... Let's see here, the 2 Alpines, what are they up to? Tyler Witz is heading into the pit lane. Where is his teammate of Lions? Currently P13, crosses the line to P6, so a good improvement by him. We have one of the Rymans going to be going back into the pit lane as well. Bradshaw's already in. How about Caleb White going to be the next one across the line, heads into the pit lane. How about Mitch Snape on an outlap? Dordovic is heading into the pit lane. And the other Red Bull of Niter is heading into the pit lane. So there's a good flurry of action. Lions is going to be going back into the pit lane. And Snape is on an outlap. How about that Alfa Romeo also on an outlap for Calvi? So we just get to watch the Ferrari trundle around and warm up his tires as he looks to improve on his 15 flat. 15 flats for P10 through 13. That is incredible. Very, very close. And 14.9, 8, 7s all the way up to P4. So any little bit that a driver can find in qualifying is definitely going to help. Just a 10th or 2 necessary to improve by a couple positions. So we will watch Mitch Snape show us around a lap. Mitch! We will watch. Joke. No! Why is everyone going to the pit lane on their outlaps? We will watch Anthony Bogg show us around a lap of Imola. No, why did you, the Haas for Spanswick. We will watch Spanswick show us around a lap of Imola. I can't get anything right today. Okay, through Tabarello we go, just clipping the inside curb through turns 3 and 4, taking some exit curb even through turn 4. Looking pretty neat for Spanswick. Just slows it down for a little bit for the entry of Villeneuve. Up to Tosa we go. Bit of a slow corner, pretty long, and a little trigger happy on the throttle. Saw a slide from the rear for Spanswick. Everything out of the way. There we go. Coasting through Piratella we go. Flat through the kink into Aqua Minerale, and that's a lot of curb taken on the entry. Might slow him down just a little bit, but didn't lose the car by any means. Through Variante Alto we go. And a bit of a safe line taken compared to what we've seen so far today. And just a couple more corners then. No Name turn 16 that we just went through. 17 and 18 are the Ravazzas. Down to 3rd for Ravazza 1, and throwing it into Ravazza 2. Nice line through there. Charges up to the start-finish line. What's it going to be for Spanswick? An improvement of 0.6 of a second, only brings him up to P12, though. And who can we cut to? Chris Free going to be the next one that we're going to watch. 0.3 up through Sector 2. Variante Alto we go. Looked pretty quick there. And so many people moving out of the pit lane now. But unfortunately, Free finishing up his lap as we speak. Up to the finish line. And what will it be for Free? Still P9. So he might have lost some time through the Ravatzes then, I would have to guess. Not Dordovic. Snape is going to be starting his lap. Hawes is going to be finishing his lap, 1/10.5 up through Sector 3 so far, and up to P15, 0.7 up on his previous best. That's not Wits, that's Lyons. Going to be starting his lap by the looks of it. Then the McLaren of Caleb White, looks like he just started his lap as well. Everyone's starting their laps now. Spanswick heading back into the pit lane. Is that Dordovic going to be finishing up a lap yet? No, it's not. No, it is not. Who is the other Alpine? It's Tyler Witz. So we will watch... yes, we will watch Callum Lyons then. I think that is going to be the first one. Illegal blocking for John Ahern in the Williams in P8, and I assume he was trying to get out of somebody's way. As Lyons, I believe, was extremely wide through Piratella, and he is backed off of this lap, so we can watch Dordovic. I think is going to be the first one on an actual flying lap. Everyone else just preparing their laps now. Snape is carving his way through the field on the track map. Is he finishing up a lap right now? Oh, he might actually just be. Flying under the radar there is Snape. Currently P10, improves up to P8, 0.2 improvement from him. We will go back to his teammate Dordovic. Snape had a lot of traffic through the two Ravatzes, excuse me. Looks like Marco's going to be going through that section now just after all of the traffic is cleared, which is great timing from him. Currently P5, charges out of the final corner. And crosses the line. Provisional pole is a 14.37, a 10th faster than Tyler Witz, who's going to be the next one across the line as the checkered flag falls. Tyler Witz needs to improve by a 10th to take provisional pole, and he does. A 360, so a 100th of a second between the two of them. There is an Alfa Romeo ahead of Andreas Ryman, but we will stay with the Aston Martin driver. As he crosses the line from P3 up to provisional pole, it's a 14.3 flat. Mercedes of Chanchakmet crosses the line 11th, and it's going to be not Anthony Bogg, but John Ahern going to be crossing the line next, stays in P9. The other Aston Martin of Vincent Ryman stays P5. The Alpha Tauri, where is the Alpha Tauri of Zadrazil, does not change any positions. It's going to be the two Red Bulls crossing the line next. Chris Freeze back into the pit lane, so P10 for the man winning it last week. On track, at least in Niter as well, not improving on his time. Bradshaw's into the pit lane for McLaren. And is anyone else going to be crossing the line? It looks like a no. So that's going to be it for qualifying. It looks like Andreas Ryman taking a pole in Imola with a 1:14.3, just ahead of Tyler Witz and Marco Dordovic. Adam Bradshaw and Vincent Ryman rounding out the top five. So the two Aston Martins looking pretty quick today. Tyler Witz is going to be all on his own. Callum Lyons outside of the top five, but P6 still can make something work if some shenanigans happens at the front of the field. To Williams still kicking it in the midfield like last week. Snape has some recovering to do, but I think that's what he did last week in Austria as well. So it might just be in his wheelhouse to help out his teammate there. Yeah, and then it's Chris Free, qualifying P10, so maybe just not getting a good lap in. Maybe if we can look for some comments in the F2 chat as we wait for quali to end. Nope, nothing really Oh, are we going to... Are we going to lobby restart? That is the question. Because of the grid penalty. Anyway, Ryman from Tyler Witz, from Marco Dordovic, from Brad Shaw, and Ryman rounding out the top 5. Callum Lyons in 6th, Anthony Boggs 7th, Snape 8th, Ahern in 9th, Chris Free in 10th, Chunchakmak in 11th. Restart, yes, I see in the YouTube chat. Thank you for that. Caleb White in 12th, Spanswick 13th, Nider 14th, Hawes 15th, Zadrazel 16th, and Joe Calvi in 17th for Alfa Romeo. Weren't those two fighting for the Constructors' Championship last season, Hawes and Calvi? What has happened to them? Anyway, it is going to be a lobby restart. I can use the intermission screen. Yay, I don't see that announced anywhere. It's in the F2 announcements. That would usually be where you announce things for F2. That would make sense, wouldn't it? So, daylight savings going to be coming up for the UK and probably the rest of Europe. In some time at the end of the month, I'm pretty sure. Looked it up, made sure I got it right. I know the first time I ever experienced daylight savings in a race league, I got very confused because I thought it happened everywhere at the same time, and it doesn't. So one day I just go to my race leagues and everything's moved an hour, and I was very confused. And they said they didn't move anything, and I was even more confused, and I thought I was going crazy for a day. But then we figured that one out. Welcome back to GRS F2 at Imola. We are moments away from the lights going out as everyone applies their setups and makes their strategy changes. We'll give them a couple minutes to get everything going. Here we go then, we're at the grid for the F2 race in Imola, and we are racing already. They weren't held for very long, and it seems like Ryman's getting the better start. No, it's Tyler Witz on the soft tires, already heading up into P1 as they head through Tamburello. Now, Raymond coming under pressure from Dordovic, and I think he just lagged backwards in time. Tyler Witt's got a beautiful start. Dordovic's ahead of Ryman, who's now fighting it out with Callum Lyons as they head into the second chicane. Very quick starts for, well, everyone except our pole sitter, really, who's now down to P5. Snape's already up to P6 and fighting it out with Ryman. And, well, he's got past one of the Aston Martins. So has Chris Free. What has happened to our pole sitters? Tyler Witz already has almost 2 seconds of a gap between himself and P2. And we will look at the tires. Dordovic with a great start on the hard tires. Has Bradshaw right behind. And now we're going to see a lot of side-by-side action as we head into, Varianti Alta. Lions had to check up because the two cars ahead were trying to make it side-by-side, and they still are. As they head towards the two Ravazza corners, will stay on board with Lions Might as well. Andreas Raymond keeping himself up in P3 from Bradshaw. Snape right behind, looking to get in on the action, a little wide there. Chris Free up 3 places into 7th position. And it's Harry Spanswick getting past Ahern to take P9. Calvi making a pass on FA in P16 as well. And now it's up to Dordovic to try and chase down Tyler Witz, but I don't think he's going to be able to on the hard tires. He's going to have to fend off Andreas Raymond. There's some yellow flaggage behind. It looks like everyone's gotten going again, side by side between Caleb. Oh, what has happened to Bradshaw? That is something I ask myself every week, and he is all the way down out of the points. What has happened to him, I wonder? Does he still have a front wing? He's going very slowly like he's got a mechanical failure, but that can't really happen. No, he's got his end plates. Oh, me oh my. What has happened to Bradshaw? Oh, Chris Free already up into P5 in a collision between himself and Lyons as they tried to make it side by side into Varianti Alta. Chris had the inside, but he wasn't ahead. And was that a penalty for Lyons for that collision, I wonder? Is that a 3 or a 5 second? It's a 5 second, so the game must have deemed him completely at fault for that one. I don't really know about that, but here we are. Dordovic has gotten passed by Andreas Ryman, and the top 4 are running away with it as we have a VSC. So that's only going to make it... Bradshaw has retired. Not into the pit lane either. Out of the final corner. So, our race banner speedrunner has set a new record for GRS. As we'll see if we can do it on lap 1 next time. So Dordovic making the hard tires work early on. Tyler Witz is happy that this isn't a full safety car because he's got a 5.5 second lead between himself and Ryman. And Dordovic is going to be fighting and costing everybody time, of course, because that's what you do when there are cars around you. It looks like Ryman had a better delta heading off of the VSC. Line's getting a little close, but not enough for a move by any means. Looks like everyone's going to keep it, yep, single wide through there. Nicely done, everybody. Appreciate that. And now we're going to scroll back through the list through the Ravazzas. Looks like everyone keeping it pretty clean so far. DRS is enabled? Is enabled, yes. Is enabled. Dordovic has already lost some time to Ryman, making those medium tires work well. And side by side between himself and Lyons, as Lyons swoops down the inside, and Dordovic had to make way for the incoming Alpine. Lost control of his Ferrari through Tamburello, plummets all the way down to P11 as John Jackmack passes him, and one more as Anthony Bogg sneaks his way through for Williams. P12 for Dordovic, and he's got the hard tires to boot. So that is really not going to work out well for him. Vincent Ryman, meanwhile, is on quite the recovery already. Make sure I got the right Rymans here. There's two of them, which is very nice to see. Oh, and a huge snap. Okay, Andreas was our pole sitter. Vincent just got passed by Snape because he had a huge snap of oversteer. And what did I say? Snape had to make up a couple positions in the race. Lap 4, he's already made up 4 positions. Pretty sure he started P8. Now he's chasing down Callum Lyons, of all people, who's got a 5-second penalty that might just be... Well, it has to be served, actually, so it can't be removed. So that's really unfortunate for him. And, gotta go further back, because side by side between Chris Free and Marco Dordovic. And, you know, if I were saying that, usually I'd think, oh, yeah, it's at the front of the field. No, that's for P13 today. Side by side between Nider and Caleb White. Yes, Caleb White. Make sure I got the right guy there. Who got passed by Nider, but went a little deep into turn 2. Tamburello. Can Caleb White sneak it down the inside of Villeneuve? He backs out of that one. And it's getting even worse for Dordovic because he's just caused a yellow flag, so he had some sort of spin happen through Tamburello once again, so not his favorite sequence of corners today. But his teammate is keeping the Ferrari dream alive. Up to P4, making up some positions is Mitch Snape, and on the hard tires as well. Marco's having game issues. Okay. So it's not skill issues, it's game issues. That's what we're hearing, the official word. We're on board with Harry Spanswick as Vincent Ryman and Mitch Snape are fighting it out for P4. And that is Ryman up into 4th position ahead of the Ferrari. Nicely executed overtake on the inside at Variante Alta. What more fighting can we see from the onboard of Harry Spanswick? Oh, a little oversteer as he tried to bring it in for the second. Ravazza might just kill his exit speed onto the pit straight, but it looks like he's going to be holding Jan Nider at bay for now. In fact, he is side by side with Snape as they head through Tamburello, and they give each other just enough space. And it's going to be about 4 or 5 cars now fighting it out for that position, but they all make it work and behave themselves by the time they get to the next Variante. So now it is Snape ahead of Spanswick, ahead of Vincent Ryman as they exit Tosa. Still a 5.5 second lead between Tyler Witz and Andreas Ryman. I would assume Witz is just going to try and keep it clinical out front. Trying to go around the outside. Oh, trying to go around the outside. Oh my goodness. Trying to go around the outside of Aqua Minerale was Harry Spanswick, but he learned, he learned his lesson for that one. And unfortunately, Vincent Ryman paid the price as he had to check up. Now down to P8. So Nider and Caleb White are through. Spanswick is ahead of Mitch Snape, but a bit of a clumsy move, that one, and he's got himself a 3-second time penalty, I do believe. Yes, he does, for going off track too many times, and Mitch Snape is going to think, what are you doing? Just do it under DRS like the rest of us. Like he's, he's not quite close enough to do it right now. Is Nider going to try down the inside through the first chicane? No, he is not. Looks like everyone else is keeping it clean as well. Look at how much ground Caleb White has gained on the exit. Ryman as well, so Nider not having a great Tamburello. Had to take the inside through Villeneuve as well. Just a bit of contact between White and Ryman as they're following each other through. Wow, this is quite the melee here today in Imola. We love to see it. Now exiting Tosa. White with Nider right behind Mitch Snape in P5. Everyone... This group of 3 right here on different compounds of tires as well. So when will the softs die out? When will the mediums come into a life of their own? Certainly too early for the hards to come in. So Snape's got a little ways to go, but making the hard tires work, keeping it up there with the rest of the group with the hard tires is always great for strategy. Alright, who wants to make a DRS pass this time around? Is it Yan? It might be Vincent. It might be Yan. Yeah, it looks like everyone's backing out. That's good. No huge dive bombs. That's always good. How about the exit, though? Side by side between Calvi and Zadrazil as we head up to Villeneuve, and that is Zadrazil up into P11. Nicely done there. Looks like Callum Lyons has done a very good job to drop Spanswick out of his DRS. Probably did that a couple laps ago, but I've yet to realize that until now. So now is up to Spanswick to try and drop Mitch Snape out of his DRS. He's just about done it, and well, Marko Dordovic has maybe found the wall at Piratella. No, he's backing it up, so he's not retired or anything. Just having some more issues, and Snape is trying his best to stay within the DRS of Spanswick ahead, but he's got to make up 0.2 of a second. I don't think that's going to happen just on battery alone, so it's going to be down to Jan Neider to make the pass on the first driver in this very long train, stretching all the way down to about Calvi in P12 from Snape in P5. Will be up to Jan to take the lead, and he does so very early on, so there's no question about who's going to be up ahead. Side by side between Caleb White and Vincent Ryman once again as they head into Tamburello. It's going to be the Aston Martin on the inside, rather, taking that position. Didn't have a very good exit, though. John Jackmack might have just been caught up in a little bit of that melee, because I know he was in the fight with that field, and it was a little clumsy from a couple of them. Anthony Bogg just got himself a couple positions taken away as he went into the gravel on the exit of Villeneuve as well. Alright, Tyler Witts, 4.5 seconds between himself and Andreas Ryman. We'll just give him some screen time. There we go. He had a screen time. Will be one of the first people to stop, one of just 3 starting on the soft tires, and doing very well to make them work, honestly. 2 Williamses swapping positions behind. One might have damage, or just letting the medium tire runner go up ahead. We'll go back to Mitch Snape. He is going to be still on the tail of Jan Neider, who has not caught the DRS of Harry Spanswick. So is it going to be Snape through? Is it going to be Ryman through? We will have to see. I think Caleb White's just going to be too far back to make anything work this lap, as the Ferrari of Dordovic disappears out of the exit of the pit lane. And that was a much better take of Tamburello from Vincent Ryman, but we've seen this before. People getting a better exit through Tamburello, but not really able to make it side by side heading into Villeneuve. And now Ryman is just pushing that Ferrari along, wants to get on with it, has the grip in the medium tires still, but not quite able to do so. Let's see, Bog is in the pit lane. Might be for damage, because I don't think he was starting on the softs. You can just see how well Ryman is able to keep himself glued to Mitch Snape, but a little oversteer on the exit of Aqua Minerale. He's probably going to catch right back up through Variante Alta, and he's going to want to make this move down the pit straight. So he just needs a good exit out of Ravazza 2, the final corner. Technically, there's one more. That little kink there is turn 19, but no one cares about that one. Was that a good enough exit for him? Well, he's dumping his battery, so I think is going to be done and dusted either way, unless Mitch Snape has an incredibly low downforce setup, and that might just be the case, because Ryman is not gaining at all, breaks a little later, but Mitch Snape stays ahead, surprisingly enough. Had DRS of his own, I believe, but Look at that, Ryman has to concede, and he burned a lot of his battery too. I think he was at about 40% when he started deploying on the exit of the final corner, and now he's just saying, listen, you have to give me the position. I'm not staying behind you at all. But Snape still has some great traction in the rear tires, keeps himself ahead. So some great racing between these two. Some very good attempts from Ryman, but man, I've never seen Mitch Snape drive so defensively before. Keeps his position through Aqua Minerale, up through Variante Alta once again, and it's going to be Ryman with another opportunity. He's got quite a bit less battery this time around. Caleb White's trying to get in on the action as well. We'll keep it on board with the Aston Martin. Yeah, look at how much he's gained, has Mitch Snape. We will look at Tyler Witz in the pit lane real quick, because I want to see how this fight plays out. He's used some battery on the exit again. He's gaining quite a bit more. Has Mitch burned through his? No, he's got more! Mitch has more battery! That's incredible. But Ryman is through. Ryman is through into 5th. Tyler Witz pits from the lead of the race onto medium tires with 20 laps left to go and finds himself P11. I'm wondering why he didn't want to... How did Mitch Snape get passed again? What did I miss? Mitch Snape passed him on the exit of Tamburello. I thought that was job done from Ryman, but no. Look at this whole group being held up by Mitch Snape. Now this is incredible to see. He's not even using his battery that much. Ryman's got less. Goodness. Anyway, Tyler Witt's going to be carrying his medium tires for 20 laps at least. Both Alpines underfield could be screwed without a safety car. Woohoo! That is an interesting announcement. That's not really the word I'm looking for. An interesting conundrum that they both have. So, both Alpines underfield. Can we take a look? Oh, yes, they did. Kyle Lyons has his pit light on. How about Tyler Witz? He has his pit light on. All right, so some shared strategies from the Alpines not really making it work here. So they are going to be hoping for a safety car. Into the pit lane goes Caleb White from P8. He is not following this train any longer. Neither is Vincent Ryman. He's going to be leading this train for a little longer. How about Calvi? Calvi's going to try and make it through as well, side by side into Tamburello, but backs out of that one. Oh, look at how much... Okay. Snape did not have a very good Tamburello that time around. Couldn't make the pass on the run to Villeneuve. Already starting to lose it a little bit. Anyway, so both Alpines underfueled. Never what you want to do. It's always the one time you underfuel because you're expecting a safety car. That one never happens. Alright, Jan Neider making his soft tires not lose too much time, it looks like, in P4. Got some medium runners around him, and now, let's see here, Tyler Witz is on the rear of Zadrazil. 2 different pit strategies going on here, so it's up to Witz. Does he just want to stay in the DRS and fuel save? Jan Neider is into the pit lane, gets himself a 5-second penalty for his troubles. Probably going to lose more time than it's worth if he just sits behind the AlphaTauri. So, yep, does go for the overtake. So he's up, back up to P7 now. So his teammate and Neider are in the pit lane. Looks like mediums going on both of those. All right. Seeing Caleb White, quite a ways behind Neider yet, so that's a good stop for Neider. And let's see, Calvi got past Snape, both on the same tires, but they are still running nose to tail. Now we're out of the opening melee of the race finally, 14 laps in. Snape wants to give us a little bit more, but backs out of that one into Variante Alta. Has Tyler Witz right behind. So Witz behind some old hard tire runners. He needs to get his way past as well. Can we see how much fuel he's missing? Is that on the wheel? might be on the wheel, but I'm not quite sure. Is that the top right, the number in parentheses? Might just be slightly underfueled. I think that might be a 0 in that first section there, so... Not much underfueled. He's got past one Ferrari-powered car, and now he's getting past two into Tamburello. Tyler Witt's our ex-race leader up into P5. And after the pit stop cycles, I do believe he will be comfortably back into the lead because he had quite a gap to pit from. Let's see, Zadrazil's in the pit lane. Lyons is inheriting P2. Andreas Ryman having a bit of a quiet race so far today. As Chris Free gets past Anthony Bogg. Calvi stays behind Snape. Now, like I was saying, we're out of the opening melee and into the part of the race where the pit strategy is coming into play. So we'll see where everyone emerges after the pit stop cycles. How far can the medium tires go? Ryman pits from the lead on 14-lap old mediums. What will it be for Lyons? He's going to stay out. Spanswick is coming in. And the other Aston Martin of Vincent Ryman will not go into the pit lane either. Harry Spanswick got himself a 5-second penalty for going to the pit lane as well. And there is a yellow flag for Hawes, although he is still going, so that's good to see. And Calvi gets past Snape once again, these two trading positions quite nicely. And Ryman emerges from the pit lane. Will he be harassed by the Mercedes at all? No, he will not. How about anyone harassing Harry Spanswick as he comes out of the pit lane? Will it be him and Chris Free? No, he's just going to emerge right behind Caleb White, who has some fresh medium tires. And that is Tyler Witts getting past Vincent Ryman, who did stay out. So that's Witts back up into second place now. And he's only got his teammate ahead, who still has to stop and serve a 5-second time penalty. 8 seconds now, but will only serve 5. And that was quite a bit of curb taken from Vincent Ryman. That was a little scary. We almost saw a Leclerc board. Anyway, will Lyons be going into the pit lane this time around? Yes, he will, off of the 15-lap old mediums. And Tyler Witts will re-inherit the lead of the race with how much of a lead between himself and the car in P2, because Vincent Ryman's coming to the pit lane. And it's going to be Calvi taking up P2 ahead of Mitch Snape taking P3. Both drivers on the hard tires, so he will be going quite a bit longer around the outside of Tamburello. Mitch Snape makes it work. How long have I been muted? Thank you for telling me that, Mr. Hoy. Hope that wasn't too long ago. Anyway, what was I just talking about? I need to repeat myself now. What was I talking about? Oh yes, it's Ryman ahead of Lions. Both of them having just pitted not too long ago. Chris Free up ahead with 6-lap-old hard tires. And then Spanswick has jumped both of them, actually, as Snape is into the pit lane from P2. And now all of the pit stop cycles are starting to play out. We're going to hop on board with Niter and see if he wants to get past Caleb White. Sees the light flashing up ahead, smells some blood in the water maybe, but a little too far back. If he wanted to dump his entire battery, he might be able to get past, but not really worth it. How about Ryman on Chris Free? It just stays behind this time around. Not too much of a difference between their tire lives. So we will watch this this front-running train. White ahead of Niter, ahead of Spanswick. What are the penalties for the front runners here? 3 to 5 to 8. So, yeah, not looking good for Harry Spanswick. Although he has a pretty good amount of time between himself and Free. And some fresher tires as well. Oops, it's not the one I wanted to use. Here we go. So Free still being able to make up some positions. He did not have the greatest qualifying. P10 if I remember rightly. You weren't muted, you were just mogging us the whole time. Okay. Let's see, what was I saying? Chris Free, qualified 10th, didn't have the greatest qualifying, went for an ambitious dive down the inside of Variante Alta and got himself spun around, but up into P6 now and looking to defend from Vincent Ryman for that position, so not looking too terrible, all things considered. Ryman is through. Lions wants to go through as well, might be able to do it on the run to Villeneuve, but backs out of that one, doesn't want to cause another collision between himself and the Red Bull. Oh, but he's got a great exit on the run to Tosa. Is he going to be able to do this one? Nope, Red Bull just goes wide, does not want to give up that position easily. If I were Lions, I would have gone for the switchback of the century. Let's see here. Yeah, Niter, did he get past? It looks like he did get past, because I think he was in the middle of this little train here. Saving up his battery. He's got softer tires than the cars ahead. Mediums aren't going to be dead at 6 laps by any means. He's got quite a bit more battery than Caleb White up ahead, and Harry Spanswick as well. Lions still fighting with the other Red Bull of Free. We'll just look up ahead. Is anyone going to be going for an overtake? Hey, yep. Spanswick wants that position, and he's going to take it into Tamburello. And Lions wants that position, and he's going to be taking it down the pit straight, heading to Tamburello as well. So Lions up into P7. Is Free going to look for an attack even? Look to stick his nose down the inside of Tamburello, but did not find anything there. More time penalties falling the way of our drivers. Snape out of all of this, I feel like he pitted 2 laps ago. Wait. He pitted 2 laps ago? Off of the hard tires, right? Right. Okay. Did he make 2 stops? Okay, just 1. Alright, I'm going a little crazy. That's fine. But he's quite a ways down the field from where he was. Has some pretty fresh tires, but Calvi up ahead. It's who he was fighting on the hard tires before the pit stop cycles, so they're going to be catching up to Zadrazil. They've already caught up to Zadrazil, and then they will be catching up to Anthony Bogg in the Williams as well. So we'll keep an eye out for that as all of this is happening. Niter is still fighting Caleb White, and Spanswick has been able to drop these 2 outside of DRS, so very well done from him. I think that's what Niter needed to do, honestly, is do what Spanswick's been able to, but he's got his way past Caleb White, and hopefully going to be keeping that position. Will he be able to catch the Haas? I'm not entirely certain. Mitch Snape makes a move up to Tamburello, and he's going to make 2 moves on the outside of Tamburello. on Zadrazil and Calvi. Calvi wants to follow him through, and it's just a little too ambitious as the two cars come together on the exit of 2 and 3. So Calvi just wanting to follow his rival through. Snape did a great job of clearing both cars before they got to the braking zone. Calvi wanted to use the extra grip in his tires to his advantage, but unfortunately, just a bit ambitious. Zadrazil did slam the door across his front wing. Not sure who would be at fault on that one. Might just be a racing incident between the two. But a big collision for Calvi because he was fighting Snape, who's looking to have a good run on some new tires and might get himself some pretty good position. So Calvi was looking to have actually a pretty good recovery from qualifying, but unfortunately just a little too ambitious heading into Tamburello. And, well, Zadrazil's out of the points as well. So quite unfortunate for both of them coming together. Nider's still just outside of the DRS of Spanswick. And Caleb White's just being towed along at this point. Don't think he's going to be making up many positions as Anthony Bogg is into the pit lane off of 13-lap old medium tires. He must have been in pretty early. He must have started on softs. Yes. So the first driver to take 2 stops. And onto soft tires goes the Williams. How is the fuel looking for the Alpines? Tyler Witz still has his fuel light on. There are 9 laps left to go, so he's got to do a little bit of fuel saving maybe. Callum Lyons, oh, he's really not having the greatest of races today because he's still got some fuel troubles. Can we see on the wheel how much fuel he has? It's just a little blurry. It looks like 0.04, if I had to guess. So he's just about even. If I had to guess, he's just about even. How about Witz? What's Witz looking like here? Oh, he's got a 10th. Oh, no. That looks like minus 0.7. So that's just about an entire lap that Tyler Witz needs to make up. Fortunately for him, Ryman is 5 seconds behind and still has that penalty. It's only for 3 seconds. 11 for Spanswick. So Spanswick showing some pretty good pace, but not going to be keeping many positions on penalties. Still keeping Yan outside of his DRS, and Caleb White has towed himself a little bit closer to the Red Bull. Let's see, anyone else close out on track? I think that, yes, he is lapped, so that's not really much of a fight. Might as well just look at White versus Nider. Vincent Ryman wants to get involved as well. What's Snape up to? He's just a ways away from Chris Freed. 12-lap old hards for the Red Bull, so he's going to be catching him pretty quickly, I would think. So Tyler Witt's doing some fuel saving. Sees George Hawes unlap himself from the Alpine. Was that the fuel light coming in just momentarily for... Yes, okay. So a bit of underfueling for Hawes as well. Plenty of drivers underfueling. Alright, Vincent Ryman has just caught within the DRS of Caleb White. He's got some pretty fresh hard tires on his Aston Martin. So we'll just watch him. He's going to be gaining quite a bit of ground on the drivers ahead. It looks like Zadrazil and Calvi side by side through Tamburello. And Zadrazil just having to back out of that one. Calvi up to P11. What are the penalties for everyone again? There we go. Lots of penalties. Lots of penalties for plenty of drivers. So we'll see how everything shakes out at the end of the race. So Andreas is now 2.5 seconds away. He sees his rival up in the distance, and he knows he's gaining a lot of time. Does he know that Tyler Witt still does not have that much fuel left in his car? It looks like he's half a lap down now, so he's saved 0.2 since we've seen him. He's lost quite a bit of time to Ryman. So Ryman needs to win and clear by 3 seconds, and Caleb White has gotten past Jan Nider down the pit straight. And now it's going to be Ryman. I keep pressing the wrong button. There we go. Now it's going to be up to Ryman to get past both of these drivers and see if he can even catch Harry Spanswick in the Haas there. Well, the top two really running away with this one. Tyler Witz and Andreas Ryman almost 15 seconds clear of the Haas of Harry Spanswick. And now I think that yellow flag, just for Haas, making way for the two front runners, as Andreas Ryman 1.5 seconds away from the rear of the Alpine leading the race. He's not going to catch within DRS this time around. I'm just going to look at this battle momentarily, as FA is on the rear of Zadrazil, who has some very old tires that he did spin on. So they're probably not feeling too great. Alright, Ryman trying to catch within 1 second of the race leader. DRS for Jan Nider to defend from the charging Vincent Ryman, who's saving up his battery. Jan wants to make a move into Tamburello, but has to back out of it. And that'll just bring Ryman just that little bit closer. He can carry a lot more speed through the chicane. He's going to go for it into Villeneuve, I think. No, he's just got to back out of that one. You really have to be side by side with your opponent there, and does the sensible thing and backs out. Now, Mitch Snape has caught Chris Free, and he makes the move on the exit of Tamburello, heading into Villeneuve. So a job done from Mitch, and now he has to catch Callum Lyons for P7. Has to get within 6 seconds of Callum Lyons. Ooh, a spin for Jan Nider, heading through Aqua Minerale. An easy place to do it on your own, but if someone wants to go side by side through there, very easy to do. No, that's not even through Aqua Minerale. No, that's on the exit of Piratella. Okay, so I assume he would have done that on his own if I had to guess, but I might not be correct on that. Meanwhile, Andreas Ryman is making his move on Tyler Witz, and he has completely depleted his battery to do so. I don't think he's going to be able to. Leaves overtake on, gets shown the curb for his troubles, can't keep that position, gonna have to give it up. Probably doesn't know that Tyler Witz is fuel saving, probably just assumes that he's battery and tire saving. As there's only 4 more laps left to go, Ryman wanted to get clear. Yeah, of course, if Ryman can catch him and pass him as quickly as possible. Oh, he's going to be able to mitigate the effects of that penalty, as Tyler Witz just loses the rear. 16-lap old medium tires. And I think this one, I don't think he's going to give up on this one, but it's not looking too good for him because his fuel, is that back into the 0.7 range? That he's down on fuel? No, it's a 0.3. 0.3 laps of fuel that he needs to save. And Tyler Witz might just be dropping out of 3 seconds of Andreas Ryman. Might try to stay with him in the DRS. That's probably his best bet. Stay within the DRS, charge up some batteries, save some fuel until he can get to the end. And then he might be able to go for an overtake. If not, he's got 13 seconds to Spanswick behind, so I don't think he's going to be too pressured on that account. His teammate has the fuel light on as well. Surely he's not going to be going for the overtake here. No, he's not. Okay. What fights are we seeing here? Lions on Vincent Ryman. So it's an Aston Martin and Alpine battle for first place. It's an Aston Alpine battle for 5th place. As Lions clears Ryman. Needs to clear him by quite some margin in order to mitigate that penalty. So it's just like out front as well. Snape is catching Nider. 5-lap newer tires and no penalty. We'll look at the penalties once again. It's 5 seconds for Nider. Pit lane speeding, I would assume. Side by side between FA and Anthony Bogg. Bogg just has to back out of that one, but he's got some he's got some pretty fresh soft tires, but he's completely lost his Williams on the exit of Tamburello. So there's some commentator's curse. Just as I cut to you, you spin. Well, pretty unfortunate for him. He was looking to get up into the points even, because it looks like everyone just outside the top 10 is running pretty close together, and he would have been able to make up some pretty good time on newer soft tires. So this is what Tyler Witz needs to do. Save some fuel and stay within 3 seconds of Andreas Reimann, although he... Oh my goodness, he wants to get past him! But they collide, and both of them are still facing the right direction! And Tyler gives up the position because he knows he was at fault for that one. I don't know how nobody completely lost it through there. We should have seen somebody in the wall. Some great car control between two of these drivers. Wow. Yeah. Commentator Witch, just as I switched to everyone, they decided to crash into each other. Here we see Mitch Snape fighting for P7. No, I wouldn't do that. But anyway, that is exactly what what exactly Tyler wants to do is stay within 3 seconds of Andreas Reimann. He's got 2 laps to do some fuel saving, and he tried his best to keep it from spinning or going into the wall. As, let's see, Bog has retired into the pit lane, so that's not going to make a safety car or anything like that. I think we're past the safety car window anyway. But with that little mistake through Variante Alta, that is Tyler Witz outside of DRS range. And that is... one more nail in the coffin. Is it going to be the final one, however? So Andreas Reimann needs to find another 1.5 seconds. Yes, to make that 3-second penalty go away. And Witz needs to do some fuel saving for a couple more laps, so it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy, and that Williams that retired into the pit lane is causing some troubles. It looked like everyone was going 2 or 3 abreast into Tamburello, and everyone had to back out because all of a sudden there was a Williams going very slowly. Snape had to back out of whatever move he was... Oh, he wasn't really doing a move there, was he? Snape got past Snyder, going into Villeneuve, I swear. Every time I think that someone's going to make a move going into the second chicane, I think they're not going to. And every time... Anyway... I just lost my train of thought mid-sentence. I would make a very good president. So, at least I have that going for me. Oh, Vincent Reimann is on the tail of quite a few drivers who have some penalties coming their way. 6 seconds for Lyons and 3 for Caleb White, so he's running a net P4, so it's going to be a great result for Aston Martin. A decent result for Alpine. I think Lyons is going to be losing out to Caleb White and Reimann as well, so that is going to be Lyons down to P6. I think it will be Lyons and Reimann just swapping positions at the end of the race. Final lap, by the way. Final lap, and Reimann's not waiting around. He wants that position off of Caleb White. Up into P5 for him. What'll it be for Tyler Witz? It's a red fuel light now, and I keep pressing the wrong button. It's a red fuel light. He's still a little under fuel on the last lap of the race. I think he's just going to throw it into low fuel mode and hope it works out of the final corner. Snape is still fighting Nider for P7, but Nider still has that penalty, so I'm not too pressed about watching that one. I want to see... He's in low fuel mode already, and we have low fuel mode on hard. Reimann's going to win the race. If he doesn't lose it through the final couple of corners, there's no way Witz can keep it within 3 seconds. He's already just about at 4. So there we go. Tyler Witz underfueled for a safety car. That didn't happen. Andreas Reimann's going to be rounding the final corner and charging up to the start-finish line. He's going to win despite his penalty in Imola. And a wonderful race from him as he... didn't have the greatest of starts, but he really brought it back to bring the fight to Tyler Witz, who unfortunately not the greatest of strategies both on tires and on fuel. Harry Spanswick crosses the line P3, but he has the 11-second time penalty, I remember now. So that's going to be a double podium for Aston Martin. Caleb White coming home P4. That Spanswick relegated down to 5th. Lyons relegated down to 6th. Mitch Snape promoted up into 7th. After some front running, but not really able to make it work in the second stint, it looked like. P8 and P9 for Red Bull. Chris Free up a couple of positions despite a bit of a clumsy qualifying and race. So still some decent points for Red Bull, but whatever championship position he had from last week is not really going to stand. And the final points paying position going to FH on Jakmak in the Mercedes, rounding out the top 10. After that, We have John Ahern in the Williams of Drazel, P12 for just got distracted by him lagging through Tamburello there. P12 for AlphaTauri, and then the two Alfa Romeos rounding out the final two finishers, although Haas was having himself a pretty good race, I have to say. Caleb White taking the driver of the day, and just a couple of retirements into the pit lane, although that was a VSC from Bradshaw, so I think I'm going to keep my eye on F2 incident inquiries and see if anyone asks about that one, because I want to see what happened to Bradshaw. But a double podium for Aston Martin, the two Rymans with a very good result here today. Tyler Witz would have had it on pace. He was far and away, I think, the fastest driver just on pure pace, but had to do a lot of fuel saving. And unfortunately for him, that cost him the one position he needed for the win. But a good race nonetheless for him. Tyler Witz taking P2 between the two Astons. So here are our gaps and our penalties. We have all of the finishers on the screen, so we'll let that cycle through. Fastest lap going to Calvi. And DNFs for Dordovic and Bradshaw, the two drivers in F1 last time around, not finishing the F2 race in Imola. Here's our incident screen, and I think it's going to be quite long again today. Quite a penalty-prone track is Imola. Down we go, down we go. There we go. There's all of the incidents in case anyone needs something reported or taken away. Andreas Ryman with the win today. Congratulations to him. Tyler Witz had a great race as well. P2, still a pretty good result. And the other Ryman of Vincent in P3 rounds out our podium. So that'll do it for us today. It was a wonderful, wonderful race in Imola, rife with just a couple incidents, that one virtual safety car, but other than that, green flag running and clean racing. So we will look forward to seeing that once again next week in Canada. Another very penalty-prone track, so that's going to be another long scroll through the race director. So come tune in next week, same time, same channel. We will see you then in Canada. It's going to be another wonderful race. We will see you then. Goodbye.